Adam, Michael K. here. How you
Hello,
doing?
Michael. How you doing?
We're doing great. Let me ask you with some Jets and Giants stuff. Stephen Hill, we've heard rumors that the Jets have tried to trade him. What do you think the end game is with Stephen Hill?
I think they keep him around, Michael. I think they do. I think they couldn't find much interest for him in the league, which tells you where his value's at, and it's up to him to reestablish that value. He's got potential. He's got the skills and abilities, and it's up to the Jets to bring it out of him and hope that he blossoms. I think the Jets' better hope really is to have him blossom under their watch than to trade him away for something that is minuscule in the end, certainly not the second-round draft pick that the team invested in him. I just don't think that they've found a team that is willing to give up anything for him, so I think they wound up keeping him around and hoping that he kind of develops the way that they had hoped.
What's the long-range plan with Dimitri Patterson? How long can they suspend him?
Well, I don't think they were very high on him to begin with. That's the issue. I mean, you're talking about somebody who obviously has struggled to fit in there. He's been unhappy about his role, whatever it may be that's caused him to leave. They're obviously investigating that, but I don't think that they were overly pleased with what they saw from him, with the performance that he gave. And I know people were talking about the fact that they have Dimitri Patterson once Milner was hurt and Dexter McDougal went down, but I don't think they viewed him as a frontline cornerback, as a signing that really stood out for them this offseason.
Are there any players that might become available with the cuts coming up that the Jets could use to improve their secondary?
Michael, I'll say this. In a passing league where passing attacks are more explosive and dynamic than ever before, cornerbacks are at a premium. If there's a good corner, teams are going to sign him. I mean, there are a lot of teams out there that could use cornerback help. And, you know, in the Jet system, you also need somebody that can play press coverage, and that's not an easy thing to do. There are other cornerbacks available. I was talking to a team today that had a surplus of cornerbacks, but one guy was a little bit smallish, and that wouldn't necessarily fit the profile of what the Jets would be looking for. They'll scour the wire. But look, if there's a good player that comes available, Houston's got the first claim. The Texans are going to claim him.
Do the Jets regret not signing Darrelle Revis, you think?
Well, I think there's a long line of cornerbacks that they bypassed. You know, they had Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie in their building. Revis was out there. Vontae Davis was out there. How about just bringing back Antonio Cromartie at a reduced salary? I mean, he looked pretty good the other night playing against A.J. Green and the Cincinnati Bengals. Somebody like that might certainly fill in. He knows that system. But none of this happened. I mean, Vontae Davis, at one point I thought the Jets were going to get a deal done with him. They didn't come through. They didn't get it done. He went back to Indianapolis. There were a lot of cornerbacks out there. They swung at a lot of them, and they swung and missed, basically, is the deal.
All right, let's move over to the Giants. Their offensive line has been shoddy this entire preseason. They kind of get lucky with Schwartz. He's not going to be out for the whole year, but he could miss September. Anything out there for them on that line?
You know, you're talking about the same type of situation here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were desperate for guards, and what do? They go out a few days ago and they trade for Rashad Johnson of the Kansas City Chiefs, and then today they go trade a fourth-round pick and Tim Wright to New England for Logan Mankins. Okay, so now they've gotten some guards, but again, there are certain positions that teams just value and covet. And interior offensive lineman, any offensive lineman, that's one of those positions. They're just not great guys on the street. So if you see anybody you want, you've got to give up something to get him. Very rarely does some team release a player, a lineman, that all of a sudden is going to be able to step in and really help you.
Now, the Giants have taken chances before. I mean, they're looked at as, you know, that kind of pure organization. Mm-hmm. But, you know, Christian Peter, they signed him. Is there any chance that they would investigate Richie Incognito?
Well, and they have taken a few more chances than I think people would realize. Like, I remember when they drafted Marvin Austin, there were questions about him. There were questions on Jaron Hosley. I mean, there have been guys that they've rolled the dice on. Sometimes they've hit, other times not so much. But I don't see that being the kind of guy that they would bring in right now. I think there are other teams that might be interested, like the Indianapolis Colts, who today admitted that they'd have to entertain the idea of Richie Incognito, but I don't see the Giants being one. But I was told last night there are multiple teams interested, speaking to him about a deal, and we'll see if they get it done. So we'll find out if the Giants are one. I don't think so, though, Michael.
We're talking with Adam Schefter, our very own NFL insider. Adam, you talked about the trade that the Pats made. Logan Mankins has been a big part of what they've done, 6-time Pro Bowler. They get back the tight end Tim Wright. Is this an indication that Gronkowski might not be 100%?
No,
Why make this deal?
What it is. I think acquiring Tim Wright gives them options. They like to play two tight ends, and they haven't had the two tight ends that they've needed. Since August 10th, they've gone out and they've made 10 transactions at the tight end position. This is the latest. They're looking for somebody that provides them with depth and options. That's what Tim Wright will do. They get back a fourth-round pick. They get back Tim Wright. Tampa Bay gets the guard that it needed. The Patriots get some option, some flexibility, some depth. Gronk, from everything I understand, is on course. And I know that the organization feels a lot better about him today than it did at this time last year.
Well, who's going to fill in for Mankins for them?
They've got a bunch of young linemen in there that they feel like are more than capable. They've got this guy, Marcus Cannon, that they can move over from the tackle position. They signed an undrafted free agent that they believe has really made a mark in training camp. Again, these are names that a lot of people might not know, but that they believe will be able to step in. A guy by the name of Josh Klein, who's from Kent State in his second year. He's been in the program there as a free agent last year that they are really comfortable with. Dan Conley can play there. They drafted a center. You know, the Patriots typically are usually ahead of the curve. They're usually getting rid of a guy a year before he begins to go downhill. Mankins was 32. He was in a situation where he's in his 10th year, still a productive guard, went to 5 straight Pro Bowls. No disputing that. But he's on the other side of the mountain now. They've begun the youth movement, and they're parting ways. They've done this with Lawyer Malloy. They've done it with Richard Seymour, and they're doing it with Logan Mankins.
All right, we have about a minute before you have to go to TV, so let me ask you this, Adam. Is there a chance Mark Sanchez ends up with the Rams, or are the Rams happy with what they have?
Mark Sanchez will not be a Ram. I don't think the Rams are going to be making that move. Look, the Rams have what they have. They chose Sean Hill over Mark Sanchez in the offseason. They invested in Sean Hill. They believe that he's the guy. And any quarterback that the Rams would go out and trade for, it would be difficult for that guy to come in, learn the system, and be better than they believe Sean Hill will be for them. I still think they make a move for a quarterback. I think it's more along the lines of a backup quarterback, somebody to back up Sean Hill. Sean Hill will be the starter. Mark Sanchez, I believe, will be in Philadelphia, and we'll see which other quarterback the Rams decide to pick up as a backup kind of guy.
Wouldn't it be the best deal for Philadelphia to trade Sanchez to somebody, because his value is never going to be higher, and he signed to just a one-year deal?
If his value was so high, if so many teams wanted him, teams would have gone out and signed him in the offseason. There wasn't a line of suitors lining up for him. And, yeah, he's looked good this summer. He's shined, and he's done well. But keep in mind that Philadelphia wants quarterbacks around there. And what could they get back from Mark Sanchez? Maybe not something that's more valuable than having him around as a backup to Nick Foles in the event that there's an injury there.
Always great talking to you. Thank you so much for your time, Adam.
Anytime.